And we welcome you into the Unrivaled Postgame show. Penn State defeats Iowa 31-0 in front of the whiteout here tonight in Happy Valley. 110,830, second largest crowd in Beaver Stadium history. We'll go through the numbers from this game. Brian Tripp, delighted to welcome you into our live exclusive coverage here postgame. And we're joined by defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. And Coach, we'll go through some of the numbers with you. And the defense didn't have to be on the field all that much here in the game. 14 minutes and 33 seconds. But this really a complimentary effort by the entire football team today. What did you see out there from the sideline?
Yeah, well, my favorite number is 0. They started on 0, they ended on 0. But you're right, it was a great team effort. And I thought we dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides. I thought our ability to control the ball with body shots on offense and to run that clock, keep their offense off the field. Defensively, I thought we whipped them at the line of scrimmage. And then the turnovers were really the game-changing plays to get our offense on a short field and just a complete fun game to watch.
Yeah, particularly in the first half. I believe all 10 points in the first half did come off of those turnovers from the defense. When you're able to control the line of scrimmage, particularly against a team like Iowa that you know wants to play that game of physicality and establish that presence up front, what's it say about your football team?
Well, we're getting better. You know, I thought our discipline on our run fits was better than it's been at any point this year. And look, most teams, if they can't run the ball, it's hard to be one-dimensional. And for them, certainly, what I enjoyed tonight watching was when we put them in obvious passing situations, our pass rush was dominant. And you saw our defensive ends getting after the quarterback relentless.
We're watching some of the turnovers right here. There, Deni Dennis Sutton did not give up on that play. Comes from behind and chops that ball out.
Yeah, and those are the efforts that it takes, the extra efforts. That was a big turnover because that was the one where they had it might have been their furthest penetration of the day, and really got the game kind of turned around in our favor when they had an early field position advantage.
I think also the depth of the defense, seeing at all three levels, the defensive line, linebacker, play from the secondary, but then also the guys that were able to rotate in. That's on display, and no matter who you have out there, they're all playing with that same mentality right now.
Yeah, we don't consider them ones or twos when they're on the field, and we do want to rotate a lot of guys to stay fresh. And again, obviously with as few snaps we played tonight, it all helped, but we got after them, harassed the quarterback into a bunch of mistakes, and a lot to build on.
When you're able to play with a lead and get Iowa, you know they don't want to be down in a 2-3 score type of game. What's that allow the defense then able to do?
Yeah, well, I think you saw with our defensive ends and the pressure on the quarterback. And I don't think most people would be able to handle those guys when we get ahead. So it's something we want to build on, and that's, again, we're great team ball. Creating separation on the scoreboard really allows us to feast on the backfield.
How important was it also to keep them behind the sticks? They were 1 for 9 on third down, 76 total yards, where they weren't able to get into those third and really manageable situations.
Yeah, and I think the first third down they converted, so I think they were 0 for 8 after that. We just made a couple adjustments in our coverage, and again, we did something unique. We had all 3 DNs on the field on third down for the first time this year, and that's what our depth allows us to do, to play those type guys. And, Chop Robinson lined up over the center on Adisa's sack. He's pushing the center right back, so it just gives us a lot of versatility to use our guys in the best way possible.
Yeah, you've been a part of some really impressive defensive performances during your career as a defensive coordinator and as a head coach. When you look through some of the numbers for this game, just 33 plays for them, 4 first downs, 76 yards, 1 for 9, barely had the ball on offense. Where does this rank among some of the more impressive numbers that you see after a game?
It's right up there. I was at Texas. We held Kansas to 44 yards, but for them being a top 25 team, what was at stake? The whiteout, the national TV audience. This was. I can't say enough about our players. I mean, they're proud of their effort. As coaches, we're proud of it. And I'll just say one other thing. It was our best week of practice. The guys prepared all week, and I think they expected to play this way tonight.
We'll let you go after this. It's obviously the whiteout and the crowd and feeding off that environment. How did the team do that tonight?
Well, you could see it, and that's where third down matters. I mean, what do they call two timeouts when they're at the end of the shot clock on third down with the crowd noise? For this being my second whiteout, it's a privilege to coach in that environment. I mean, it is so hard on the opposing offense, and they definitely had a play in the success we had of getting after the quarterback.
And then not having those timeouts, that hurts them at the end of the first half when the team's backed up. So the crowd really did impact the football.
It matters. It really matters, and it's a night that everybody associated with Penn State can be really proud of.
Yeah, this entire community comes together and plays a part in what is a 31-0 win. Coach, really appreciate the time. Congratulations on a great night. 1-0 tonight, but 4-0 on the season. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Penn State defensive coordinator Manny Diaz with us here post-game as the Nittany Lions defeat the Hawkeyes by a 31-0 final score. You're watching our live coverage of the Unrivaled post-game show here from Beaver Stadium. Post-game, the Nittany Lions defeat the Hawkeyes by a 31-0 final score. Again, I'm just going to run through as we plop up some of those offensive and defensive highlights and those numbers on your screen. screen. Some of the stats from this game really are staggering. Penn State's defense forced 7 3-and-outs. Iowa ran just 33 plays, 97 plays for the Penn State offense, 33 plays for Iowa. You can see the special teams there. Iowa came in with a really good special teams unit. One of the keys for this football game and success was trying to navigate field position and making sure you're not turning the ball over, making sure that you're staying ahead of the sticks offensively and putting Iowa behind the chains when conversely they had the ball offensively, and Penn State did just that. You see some of the individual highlights there as well, but again, it's that final stat. Penn State's defense held Iowa to just 76 yards in the game. Total yards, Penn State 397, Iowa 76. Iowa 1 for 9 on third down, and that time of possession, 45 minutes and 27 seconds for Penn State. Iowa 14 minutes and 33 seconds. 7 3-and-outs by that Penn State defense, and just a really, really impressive performance. A complete team effort tonight in front of a whiteout crowd, and it was raining, it was soggy, and it really did not matter. And this crowd was electric from start to finish tonight. We'll go through the offensive numbers here. Drew Aller, 25 of 37, 166 yards. He had the big numbers in the passing game. The downfield threat wasn't there. You can partially credit the weather to that, but 4 touchdowns. They were really efficient, economical. Penn State did not cough the football up in this game. That was another key. Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton, that great 1-2 punch, combined for 133 yards from scrimmage. Penn State runs for 215 yards in this game. Bo Perbula in that fourth quarter helped wear this and milk this game down. 8 carries for Perbula for 55 yards. Singleton, 17 carries, 49 yards. Allen in this game, 21 carries, 72 yards, and all 4 of Penn State's touchdowns came in that passing game, including a crucial 4th down conversion in the passing game to score Penn State's touchdown there in the second quarter. Khalil Dinkins, 9 yards from Drew Aller. Penn State used that tush-push play a little bit tonight, trying to convert on those 3rd and 4th downs, and we're taking a look at Penn State's ability in short yardage to win the battle up front. That was so crucial against a really physical Iowa football team tonight. There you see Tyler Warren, Katron Allen getting behind Drew Aller, pushing him forward for those conversions, and Penn State with a 3-0 lead at that point in the second quarter over the Hawkeyes. Here the Nittany Lions are driving 24-0 Penn State. And there it is again, just those crucial possessions to keep drives alive, needing to do what they just able to keep the ball out of the Hawkeyes' hands on what was a soggy, a little bit sloppy night, but it really didn't affect the Penn State offense. We saw maybe 1 or 2 throws impacted by the rain. When you have a quarterback with the arm strength that Drew Aller has, you know he's going to be able to go out there and perform no matter what the conditions are. I think just the most impressive thing, Penn State was pretty clean offensively, only 4 penalties in the game. Again, did not turn the ball over, and they just dominated this thing tonight from wire to wire. 28 first downs for Penn State, 4 for Iowa, 215 rushing yards for the Nittany Lions, just 20 for the Hawkeyes. Penn State 182 passing yards and 56 for Iowa here in the football game. We just spoke to defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. We'll have a couple of the players joining us here in a moment. You're watching live exclusive coverage of the Unrivaled postgame show. While we wait, let's join the press conference tonight for head coach James Franklin.
I want to thank the fans. We had a great crowd, 110,830, second largest, that's what I'm talking about. Second largest crowd in Beaver Stadium history. That was awesome. When you look at the game, I just thought we played really good complementary football, offense, defense, and special teams. Obviously, our defense played a suffocating style of D, and we're able to get turnovers, and we're extremely ball aware. But the other thing is, again, we didn't turn the ball over on offense either. Special teams, I thought we did a really nice job. Obviously, their punter is special. He is a phenomenal punter, so that was challenging. He put us in some tough spots, especially rolling to your right, which to me, whenever you go against a rugby punter and they roll to the right, the punt returner is going to cheat and work that way. Well, then he started kicking it diagonal across the field. I don't know how you really defend that, and then he got the roll. So that was impressive on their part. Some kind of interesting facts. We only allowed 76 yards in the entire game. That's the 10th fewest in school history. Iowa only had 4 first downs in the entire game, 4th fewest allowed in Penn State history. Offense had 4 scoring drives of 10-plus plays, which also went hand in hand with a possession time of 45 minutes and 27 seconds, which I've never seen before. We've scored 30 or more points 11 times in a row now. That leads the nation. Nittany Lions have also scored in 28 straight quarters. That's the longest streak in the country. So just a ton of stuff to be proud of. Won the turnover battle. We know how important that stat is. We did not win the explosive play battle, but I do think we grinded that game out, which when you're playing a team like Iowa, you can't get bored of grinding it out. Going for it on 4th and 1 3 times, picking it up. We got our third down percentage better in the second half than the first half. But their style of defense, they're going to make you grind it out in the run game. They're not going to give up big plays. They played soft in the secondary and kept everything in front of them. So would we like to be more explosive? Yes. But I don't know if necessarily that was important in this game the way it played out. We won the third down battle. We won the sack battle. Again, our defensive line's doing a great job. We had 3 sacks and a ton of pressures. Not a whole lot of people talk about our offensive line. Did not give up any sacks. That's huge as well. We tied the penalty battle in terms of number, but not yards. We lost it in yards. And then field position battle, their punter dominated that stat. So, there's some quick facts for you. But again, I appreciate everybody coming out in a less than ideal weather situation, which also magnifies also our ball security. So, again, appreciate everybody being here. I truly do, and I open up the questions.
James, you mentioned the explosive plays or lack of them. You also have very few turnovers. Is there a direct correlation between maybe not taking as many shots and limiting the turnovers? Because obviously it's working for you.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a correlation. I do think we're doing a really good job of respecting the ball in general. We talk about the ball being the program. When the other team has the ball, we're not happy about it. We're trying to get it back and do everything we can, and we've done a good job of that with turnovers. And then when you're carrying the ball, whoever it is, you're carrying the entire program and everybody's hopes and dreams with the program in your hands. So, make sure that we're doing a great job in terms of ball security, in terms of high and tight. But then also in terms of decision-making at the quarterback position, O-line protection of the quarterback's blind side, all those things factor into ball security. So I'm real proud of that. The correlation between the explosive plays, I don't know if there's necessarily that.
Head coach James Franklin at the podium after tonight's game. Penn State wins it 31-0 over Iowa, and we're joined here by running back Katron Allen after the game. And he was just talking about ball security. Show me the best ball security you have, because you guys did not turn the football over again.
You just put it over the middle, just high and tight for real. That's all you got to do.
How did you like today, the way that your offense complemented your defense? 10 points in the first half, off turnovers. How do you feed off of what your defense is doing out there on the football field?
I be feeding off them a lot. The way they play and the way they carry the game and the passion they got for the game. So it just feed off a lot and the energy, you feel me? And they shutting them out. So we just kept going for real.
This felt like one of those games, too, where I got the sense on the sideline that as your offensive line started to take over and you were having those physical runs, I saw you get up and flex a couple of times after those runs, Katron, that also, you could feel that was contagious out there on the field.
I mean, I just love running the ball, just love getting out here. I appreciate my O-line. I feel like they're one of the best O-line in the country. And without them, I feel like, you feel me, they keep us going and we keep them going. So it's great to have a great offensive line to run behind.
We're watching some of your highlights and some of the highlights from Nicholas Singleton here as well. And it seemed like this was a game where you wanted to establish that physicality. Everyone comes in talking about Iowa's defense, but your offense had something to prove with how physical you were tonight.
I guess I heard in the past that we weren't as physical or this and that the third. I feel like we was the more physical team out there, and we was ready to play, and we came with that passion that we weren't going to let anybody down, anybody down. We just always stayed the course and just kept running the ball, just getting in dirty runs for real.
And here's a run right there for you out to the 50-yard line as Penn State defeats Iowa by a 31-0 final score tonight. All right, so we have to talk about the whiteout now. Everything that's going on around the whiteout tonight. Sexy Red was here, right? Ski, she was here tonight. There's so much pomp and circumstance. How would you describe playing in the whiteout game?
I mean, it's great. It's one of the best games, like, in the country for real. And it's great to play with, like, in the stadium. I don't know. It's just a crazy atmosphere, and I love playing that atmosphere. It's probably one of the best. It is one of the greatest games, like one of the greatest games or whiteout. It's just great for real.
What would you say to someone that's considering playing college football? How could you play anywhere else when you look at some of the pictures we just looked at there, what the crowd did to impact the game tonight? What would you say to someone when they see the whiteout?
If you want to play for a team that got everything, all phases, the offense, defense, the fans, it's just a great atmosphere, and it's great playing here. You should want to come play here and be on this team, you feel me? It's just one of them games that give you chills and why you play this game and why you come here, you feel me, and do what you want to do and chase your dreams for real.
And your team seems to be improving every single week as well. How important is that to stay focused on the task at hand, even though this may have been a big game with the whiteout, now to take that same approach preparing for Northwestern next week?
I mean, we just always try to come in and get 1% better, get good every day, or just keep progress and never take a downfall. Just keep our head on straight, trying to get better. The defense get us better. And just the D squad, give a big shout out to the D squad too. The way they keep us prepared and the way they come to practice, like, you feel me? It just everything matters. So it's just great for real.
Katron, you hold on to that football. Congrats on a great game tonight. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Katron Allen joining us here post-game. Nittany Lions win it by a 31-0 final score here at a soggy Beaver Stadium. Emptied out now, but it was rocking all night long. 110,830 in attendance tonight. We'll have another player joining us here in just a moment. In the meantime, let's head back and listen in to head coach James Franklin.
And not get bored of the plays that were consistently getting us 5 and 6 yards and coming back to them. Don't get bored with them. Keep coming back to them until they've proven they can stop them.
You mentioned having those kind of pet plays throughout a game. How important is it to find those things early in a game, and when did you feel like you found those plays?
Yeah, I think, we started to kind of get some of them in the second quarter, and then what I try to do on the headset, is really kind of remind Mike of things like that. I think I always appreciated that when I was an offensive coordinator. Take a shot here, run the ball here. Mike, they haven't stopped these two plays. Let's get back to them. But Mike's doing a really good job. I think Ty Howell's been a really good voice in the box with him as well. But Mike's doing a really nice job, and really the whole staff is. So, that's I would say probably in the second quarter, and then we kind of kept going back to those things in the second half.
Coach, I was going to ask you about Coach Yursich and his evolution from when he started with all the quick passes, but you've kind of hit on that a lot, so let's switch to Drew Aller. What was more impressive, kind of the zip of the ball or the accuracy? Had short touchdown passes, but he's fitting it into tight windows, so he's not only making good decisions, but the accurate throws to get the 6 points in the red zone.
Yeah, and we had some drops that I don't think we normally have, but with the weather conditions, those things happened. We got to be better there. We got to continue to work the wet ball stuff. But yeah, I thought Drew did a really good job of managing the game. It's not just the offensive line. It's also Drew and the running backs from a protection standpoint, making sure that we're getting our 5 blockers on their 5 most dangerous rushers. And then there's times where Drew's doing a good job of getting rid of the ball and throwing it away. Sometimes that's as big of a play as anything because it would have been a 6-yard sack and he throws it away, and you either give yourself another down to pick up the first down or you reserve the right to punt, which sometimes that's the right thing to do.
James, you're right. You told us all offseason that you thought you had 3 defensive ends that could start probably anywhere throughout the country. We saw the 3 of them on the field at the same time.
I don't know if that's what I said. I think I said we view them as starters.
We view them as starters. We saw the 3 of them on the field tonight. How did you think that group played, and then what went into getting the 3 of them together? Because it seemed like it worked out quite well.
Yeah, again, I think to that point, we know we got three guys that can be really disruptive as well as others. And Chop has the ability to really be powerful as a pass rusher. So we thought his quickness and power gave us something as a change-up and a different
Again, that's
package.
head coach James Franklin addressing the media at his press conference here post-game. Penn State defeats Iowa by a 31-0 final score. Looking at some of those defensive numbers again, we'll read it because we're going to have a couple defensive guys joining us here. Jalen Reed is on deck tonight. Dennis Sutton coming up here first. 76 yards for that Iowa offense today, and 1 for 9 on third downs. Iowa just 33 plays here in the game. This game was dominated by Penn State. As you take a look at the field there, all right, Denai, you got to tell us about this performance defensively. How did you feel as a unit coming in, and then how do you feel like your unit was able to take that game plan and execute it today?
I think our whole defense came in, take this game just a little bit personal. You know, last game they played, was it 2020, I think. You know, the coaches on the side flopping and stuff, and, you know, the players got injured and things like that. So we took this game a little personal. But as far as the D-line, I think the D-line did a great job. Everybody from Adisa and Chop down to Amin and Zariah, they all played great. They played physical, and the whole, you know, Iowa, you know, toughness thing, I think we did a great job of standing our own, and you know, like we said, we held them to under 100 yards in the rushing, which is big for the D-line.
How much pride did you guys take in getting the shutout at the end of the game, too?
Oh, no, that was huge. Once we had that at halftime, we was like, you know, there's no reason why they should score. We have everything figured out. They ran all their, you know, their big plays, or tried to at least. And then once we got the halftime 0-0, we just wanted to keep it on them.
We're watching some of the plays here from the defense. 4 more takeaways in this football game. What's the mentality that you approach every game with to make sure you're coming up with those turnovers?
Coach Manning preaches that every day. Obviously, turnovers win the game, and Coach Franklin preaches that too. The turnover battle, if you win the turnover battle, I believe we win like 90% of our games here at Penn State. So getting the ball is the key, and Coach Franklin and Coach Manning preach that every game. It's the program.
What have Adisa and Chop meant to you along that defensive line, and how they have mentored and helped you too in your growth?
They've been helping me on and off the field, as far as, you know, just growing as a person and obviously as a player. Throughout workouts and practice, they make sure I'm on top of my game, because if I'm not, you know, they're easily going to take those reps and my job, as they should, you know. So just keep on pushing me every day in practice and things like that. Just keeps me on my A game.
All right, describe playing in the whiteout. That's the last question for you. It seemed like it's crazy out there. How do you even describe playing in that type of atmosphere?
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like an amazing feeling, especially when you get to that quarterback and, you know, everybody gets a strip sack and we get the ball, turnovers, things like that. It's just crazy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a dream. It's a dream of a lifetime, man. It's amazing.
Congratulations on a great performance tonight. 31-0. I know your defense, as you just said, takes so much pride in that. We'll swap you out and get Jay Reed in here. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Penn State wins it 31-0 over Iowa in front of 110,000 plus here at Beaver Stadium. Jalen Reed's going to hop on. We'll talk about that defense and some more takeaways. He was involved in the very first one tonight here in this football game. Takeaways have been so important all season long. How has your defense been able to establish that mentality and build off 5 at Illinois and then come back home and do it again here in the whiteout?
Coach Manny preaches that a lot to us day in, day out throughout practice. We have a whole turnover circuit in practice every day, so we take that day by day and we just keep doing what we're supposed to do, and then the outcome come every game.
And then your offense has been able to cash in on those takeaways as well. 10 points in the first half off a turnover tonight. Where are you going for there? Is that somewhere where you know that ball's there and you have an opportunity to come up with that fumble?
We do this drill every day in practice and tackle circuit. You just got to – it's like the same hit I had in the game. You just got to imagine the ball is there every day in practice. So in the game, the opportunity had presented itself, so I just took the chance, and then it happened for me. How
would you describe the success your defense has had right now on all 3 levels, where your defensive line is able to pressure the quarterback, the linebacker play has been outstanding, and then you guys in the secondary complement that so well as well?
It's amazing. It's just an amazing feeling knowing all the hard work we put in day out with Coach Manny and all his techniques and precise information that he gives us every day for us to be better. So it's just an amazing feeling that we got the dub, and an amazing feeling we got the shutout, especially that, because Coach Manny harped on that a lot. So going back to just our day one coaching from Coach Franklin and Coach Manny is just a great thing.
You mentioned that from Coach Manny. It seems like, you think back to where you were last year at this point, his first year as the defensive coordinator here, and you could see as the year went on the comfortability that you guys had where you're just playing instinctually. You're not thinking out there on the field. Can you kind of put that in perspective from where you were maybe last year, week 4, to where you are now this year, week 4?
It's definitely a difference because coming from an old defensive coordinator to a new defensive coordinator like Coach Manny come in, he has a whole different style of defense. So getting adjusted to that defense in just a year, and he came in like January, so we had like a couple months before our game. So getting adjusted to that and learning new things and learning different schemes, it's just a great thing for that.
Did you take any moments tonight to look around and soak in the whiteout? And if so, what are some of those moments that stand out to you?
Definitely. In the whiteout, every game I go and pray, but the whiteout game is a little harder because it's super loud. So I went down on the far end zone and went all the way to the left. And I was just taking in everything, just blessed to be here, especially where I come from, and just happy to be here.
Do you like playing in the rain?
Not at all, but as y'all can see, I dropped the interception. It was very slippery, but I definitely don't like it. But it's football weather, so I'm used to it, so it's not no big deal.
This was a Big Ten football game. Jalen, congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Jalen Reed joining us here post-game. Penn State wins it by a 31-0 final score. Let's take a look back at this one tonight. Nittany Lions and the Hawkeyes in front of 110,000 plus here for the annual whiteout game. The Nittany Lions coming out of the tunnel. Head coach James Franklin in what was just an awesome, awesome crowd here tonight. Penn State victorious over Iowa 31-0. And look, in the beginning of the game, the rain held off. We got all the great sights and sounds we wanted to see. Nittany Lions and Hawkeyes, a pair of 3-0 teams. It's the Big Ten home opener, and Penn State was able to set the tone early. That Nittany Lion defense kind of on their heels there to start. Iowa had great field position, but look at this play by Jalen Reed going in on the football, and then Dennis Sutton also coming in from behind, comes out, all coughs it up, and Penn State able to recover. That sets up a Nittany Lion field goal. And from Alex Felkins, and Penn State takes a 3-0 lead, 46 yards for Felkins, and Penn State just was able to control this football game because they were so dominant at the line of scrimmage. You see Penn State pressuring the quarterback there, and the Nittany Lions then would have to, again, find their rhythm here offensively in the game. It was slick, it was sloppy, and there the punt hits one of the Iowa players from behind. Penn State would come up with the takeaway on special teams, hopping on that football, Curtis Jacobs. Then the Nittany Lions with the football, great field possession. You need to take advantage and find a way to get into the end zone, convert on a 4th down, then 4th and 1. Khalil Dinkins in the end zone, 9 yards. Nittany Lions take a 10-0 lead, 9:17 in. With 9:17 to play in that second quarter. Penn State up 10-0, late first half. Iowa again trying to get something going offensively. Great pressure by Chop Robinson and almost coming up with that interception. Abdul Carter late here, second quarter again. Adisa Isaac getting after the quarterback. The rain would start falling. Didn't matter. It didn't dampen the spirits. Well, an awesome, awesome crowd tonight. Penn State, James Franklin told me going into the locker room, it was so important to have a great drive to start the second half, and that's exactly what Penn State did. Penn State would march down the field, a 15-play, 75-yard drive, nearly 7 minutes. Aller getting his receivers in the mix. 9 different players caught a pass tonight. And here, look at this beautiful 3rd and goal. Just floats it all the way across the field to Tyler Warren for the Penn State touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown pass, one of 4 touchdown passes on the night for Drew Aller. And Penn State opens up a 17-0 lead. Here, Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, a big game. Allen trying to move the sticks. Great run, continuing to churn those legs. He talked about wanting to run the football, sets up Penn State a 3rd and goal. We saw the float pass to Warren for the touchdown. That time a strike, 7 yards out. Aller to Warren. Penn State opens up a 24-0 lead. Iowa down big, having to pass. They don't want to pass a ton. McNamara there has it strip sacked away by Chop Robinson. Adisa Isaac recovers. Then in tough conditions, what a throw, what a catch. Keandre Lambert-Smith, 3 yards from Aller, a 31-0 Nittany Lion lead. That's a spectacular diving catch. Back corner of the end zone, and Penn State, again, a 31-0 lead. Fourth quarter, a lot of Trey Potts and a lot of Bo Prabula as the Nittany Lions win this football game in front of, again, 110,000 plus in the annual Penn State Whiteout tonight. There's your final. Nittany Lions celebrate. Drew Aller even had some ice cream after the game, and I think I could hear ski from the locker room after the game as well. Penn State wins it by a 31-0 final score. So this has been the Unrivaled Postgame Show, your exclusive postgame coverage, hearing from defensive coordinator Manny Diaz, hearing from Katron Allen on the offensive side of the football, and then on the defensive side of the football, Dennis Sutton, and of course Jalen Reed joining us as well. Great work by our producer, our director, our Mr. Do Everything, Ross Woomer, as always tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will talk to you next week. We'll have the Unrivaled Weekly Preview Show on Wednesday, leading up to the kickoff on the road, another 11 a.m. Central kickoff at Northwestern as Penn State looks to improve to 5-0 on the season, and most importantly, go 1-0 again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of an awesome atmosphere tonight. Penn State wins it over Iowa, 31-0 the final score. I'm Brian Tripp saying so long from Beaver Stadium.